Hello and welcome. So today we are going to put back into this truck the standard Traxxas ID connection system. We did put into this an XT60 adapter because at the time when we got this truck didn't have any of the ID connector that LiPos, but now we've got quite a few, so we're going to go back to using those connectors. You'll see the other truck here is a standard situation and it's got the ID connectors, but this one, as I say, has got the XT60. It's a 3D printed component, which again I can provide. I'll leave a link below for the Facebook pages and eBay sites where you can get these. There are some XT90 connector versions, which is this one here. First thing we've got to do is remove the shell. I've already unbuttoned it. Off like that. I've also removed part of the roll bar and I've removed the driver inlay. So in here you can see the XT60 connector. And you'll note there's two screws there. Now they hold the connector so it's in there firmly. So when you push in your connector from underneath, these don't disappear. There are some versions out there, some 3D printed designs which are very flimsy and it's very easy just to push the connector out. But this one doesn't. This is the one that we've designed and it doesn't come out. So just going to remove this and we're going to fit this one into there. It's going to be a little bit of soldering, a little bit of unscrewing of some components. Pretty straightforward. It's a pretty easy fix. If you can use a soldering iron, you can do this. So we've slackened off those screws, both sides, and they're a good tight fit. They are a good tight fit, but I can guarantee, and I know this from bitter experience, if you don't tighten them up well, when you go to plug in your battery, you'll use the force to plug the battery in and the connectors will disappear up into the car and it's then almost impossible to get your connectors joined. So make sure they're nice and tight. Just an example, you can see this is the one we took out of the truck and this is how the connectors would go in. They're quite a good tight fit anyway. I'll be in that one. And then those screws just clamp up onto this part of the connector so they can keep it in nice and tight. It's the same principle on the XT90. That goes in there like that. In fact, this is a slightly looser fit. There's a screw hole there. This is only got one screw hole in it, but that will then clamp it into there quite tightly. So 2mm driver. Try not to lose the screws in the car when you're trying to get them lined up. Don't over tighten them, you'll strip the threads. Can see something I should have done. Should have stripped the cable and tinned the cable off the car. So we will just do that. So we've managed to get them soldered on there. It's not the neatest of jobs, but it will certainly do. We did end up using a bigger soldering iron. We needed a bigger tip. Just hadn't got enough surface area on the little small iron that I was using. Plenty of heat, but just really not enough surface area to do it quickly. You need to do it. It's not so critical with these speed controllers, but you don't want to get too much heat into the wire moving down into the speedos. Certainly with some of the more high performance speedos, you've got to be careful too much heat put in them. So that's easy enough. That just goes back on there. So the two screws are in. Be careful you don't snag any of these wires. You've got the LED wires and I believe that's the sensor wire that gives the signal for when you're braking. And then turn it over. Take the battery compartment off. You can see there are the connectors. There are the connectors all in there snug. They're not going anywhere. So a simple fix. Plug for the 3D printing stuff, sitting on that nice stand there again. You might have seen in the previous videos. Lovely colours. Link in the description. So that's all ready. I say it took long, probably take just as long taking the body shell off and removing all the bodywork to get to that as it does to actually do the mod. I've got to just obviously put the body shell back on. Obviously just got to put the body shell back on, but that'll be back on in a minute and then it'll be away we go. Another project there in the background. That's one of, I think it's one of these WL toy cars, little rock crawler. Needs a bit of TLC. We'll have another video on that and see how we get on with that. So body shell's back on, just got to put the fixings back in, and then that's the swap over of the connectors done. I was thinking, just for bashing, about leaving out the driver moulding. Obviously can't then put a camera mount in it, but also it gives it a bit of protection down there for the speed controller and the like, so we've left that in. So hope there's a little bit of information. If you want any help or any guidance on changing any of the connectors, or if you want to go to a Dean's connector or want any guidance on that, leave a message and we can show you how to do that. Thanks, bye bye.